Hey, hello, everyone. Welcome into the third episode of March Chadness. I am Chad Rink, and joining me, as always, is my brother, Nate. Nate, how are you today?
Better than I deserve.
There you go. You see, he's got the new background, a different background. It's all in his basement. He's just going to switch to different aspects. So he's got the Hendrix and the drums on there as well. So tonight, we will, as always, talk about a little bit of NCAA college hoops. We will talk KenPom today because KenPom is really it's basically been the Bible of what teams can make a run to a championship. And then we will unveil our bracket, which is still a mystery because we did not talk about it on our last show because we didn't know what it was going to be on our last show, but I'm excited about it.
Very much.
Yeah, so you can go to fanstreamsports.com, follow both of us on the X. I am at Chad Ochorinco. Nate is at Nate Lifter 23. Get all our episodes, shows, whatever you want to get. The big Ohio State Michigan game just happened. I know Tim May, Clay Hall have been doing a great job covering the Buckeyes up here in Columbus, and they had some good shows on Michigan. So you go there for all that information. I'm going to have to be their enemies this Saturday as our Hoosiers. It's weird to say our Hoosiers are in the Big Ten title game for football.
Yeah, I didn't think I would ever see the day.
No, I mean, never. It just is such a weird thing because Nate and I have grown up and Indiana football has just always been bad. We've had a couple seasons here and there that have done well, but nothing like the last couple years. So I'm optimistic, but I still kind of think we're fake good. But this will be a true test to see what we can do. I'm just afraid of what Matt Patricia can cook up on defense against us.
Matt Patricia's got that defense looking just disgusting. So yeah.
I heard someone say like Matt Patricia, like he was so like having to go against NFL caliber players week in, week out, having to go against college guys. He's got to be thinking this is super easy. So that's the big thing that scares me on that. But the good thing is we'll make the playoffs. I think no matter what happens this game, there'll be 1-2 regardless. Unless one team really, I think if Indiana gets blown out by 40, then maybe they fall to 3, but they're still going to get a bye. So, but this show's not about college football. It's about college basketball and our bracket. So I want to hit today on KenPom because KenPom has been around for a minute, but that was not like we did not grow up with KenPom rankings. Everything has gone analytics now with pretty much every sport. People making moves in baseball about lefty righty or what kind of pitch mix, that kind of stuff. NFL is doing it now. We're seeing a ton of going for it on fourth down. When we grew up, it was almost always punt on fourth down unless you had to get the first down because you were down. Do you like the more going for it on fourth downs?
I love it.
Yeah,
it's more Madden rules. Let's just go for it.
Exactly. Just don't even punt. Just go for it. Onside kick every time.
Right.
Xander would do that. Xander would play, and he'd play on the rookie level. And this is when he was like 7, 8, 9, and he would just destroy it. And he would onside kick every single time. And I remember one time he got real mad. I heard him get so mad in there. I'm like, oh, what's this all about? So I go walking in. What's wrong? He's just like, and I look, and it was like 97-6 or something. I'm like, you're mad because you gave up a touchdown? Like he was legit mad. I'm like, all right, buddy, maybe we got to take this away from you. So let's like KenPom. So those of you that don't know, it's Ken Pomeroy has come up with these different metrics on offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency, strength of schedule, just a whole slew of different things. And what they've noticed here over the last, I think like 15 or so tournaments, teams that have won it have hit certain markers, or all but one have. So I kind of want to talk about that and what kind of things we want to look for come tournament time. Because again, the March Chadness is about college basketball. But we're not going to dive into a lot of times games and this and that kind of stuff. Really, we're looking ahead to the tournament to prepare you to win your whatever tournament bracket you're in, whether it's a family one, a work one, or for like a ton of money. So what he looked at. So most of the tournament winners over the last 15 years have hit these markers for the most part. I think there might have been one team that didn't. They have to be ranked a top 25 by KenPom. And if we look at these teams, it's Duke, Purdue. This is going into this week, not including this week's games. Duke, Purdue, Gonzaga, Houston, Florida are the top 5. Then you got Arizona, Illinois, BYU, Louisville, Iowa State. Those are the top 10. Then you got Connecticut, Kentucky, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Michigan, St. John's, Alabama, Michigan State, NC State, Baylor, UCLA, Wisconsin, Auburn, USC, and our Indiana Hoosiers. So that ranks out the top 25. So that needs to be the first one. So what we'll do is we'll kind of break them down, and I'm going to see if I can bring this up. I don't know how good it's going to look. There we go. Hey, that worked out somewhat decent. So those are on there. So then you've got the offensive efficiency rating it needed to be in the efficiency rating. It needed to be like the top 21 or the top 21 in offensive efficiency rating. You need to be ranked by the KenPom ranking system. Defense, it needed to be in the top 37 defensive efficiency ranking. And then strength of schedule, it was somewhere in that range, like 25, 30, something like that. I am not concerned about that. As you can see, only 2 teams in the top 25 have a anything legit decent in strength of schedule because no one's played anybody yet. So I'm not too concerned about that one yet. But when you look at that, so if it's in green, that team has hit that marker in that category: efficiency ranking, defensive ranking, strength of schedule. And then the green teams that are to the left with the rank in the conference, there's 2 teams. Arizona and Alabama have hit all these markers, these 4 markers, because they're the only ones that have had a decent strength of schedule so far. So the ones in blue are the ones that have hit the other 3 top 25 efficiency offense, efficiency defense rankings. So as we look at that, Nate, your Final Four team was Purdue was 1, I believe.
Purdue, Arizona, Michigan State, Louisville.
Yeah. So they're all on there. So if you look at Arizona is one of the 2 that have all 4. And then you had Purdue, just no strength of schedule, but they still have been pretty decent at 46. Louisville, again, hit 3, and strength of schedule is just not there yet. And then Michigan State is not there quite yet at the offensive efficiency ranking. So your Final Four still looking good. Michigan State, your lowest ranked one at number 18 in the top 25. My teams, I had Duke, which is number 1 right now, according to KenPom. This is KenPom rankings, not any coach's poll or anything like that. So I had Duke, and then had Connecticut and Kentucky right there at 11 and 12. Those 3 have all hit. And then Michigan is much like Michigan State, where they just did not hit the offensive one yet, but they're right there. They're in the 40s. And again, the strength of schedule is not there. So we have 3.
Well, in the last week, they are the only one who played 2 ranked teams, and they beat Gonzaga by 40 and Auburn by 30. So
yeah, I mean, that looks pretty good so far for me. So I'll take that. So those are the things we'll be looking at. So if you are, I'm a big stat nerd guy. Like I'm not like if I was a manager, I would use them, but I wouldn't use them like some of these managers do, where like, especially baseball really irks me, because if you've got a reliever that came in because you wanted him to face 2 lefties, he's a lefty, and he just looked great. I would probably, let's say he only pitched like 11 pitches. I would probably let him pitch the next inning rather than bring in another guy who knows what kind of stuff he's got. If the guy was good, I don't care what it says. Yeah, it's leave him in. Like I know sometimes you look at and a lot of that time with betting as well is one of those where you look at batter versus pitcher. Some bettors hate that metrics because some of those at bats were probably like 5, 6, 7 years ago, so it's not the same. Other people live and die by it. Like this guy has hit 4 home runs in like 19 plate appearances to get this, so I'm going to bet his home run. So there's a place for it. But when the data looks like this, where like most of the NCAA winners have these 4 markers, you probably should take a look at the teams that have hit these 4 markers, correct?
That is correct. You are correct. Yes.
I set you up for the you are correct, sir. Yes. So that's what we're going to look at, because again, to win your bracket, it's fun to get the upsets. You need to have the champion and at least 4 of the final 4 teams. The champion's huge because you get more points as you go on. So we'll kind of walk you through this all year long. Again, I'll have some guests on that maybe talk more in depth on some of these smaller conferences, guys that know their stuff. Talk about teams that we really could look at, could be Cinderellas, those 12, 11 seed upsets and that kind of thing. So if you don't, KenPom's free. You can go on there, look all this information up. I just put in a spreadsheet, put the top 25, and then have their efficiency rankings. So we'll look at this every week, and then probably going forward, I'll have it to where I have through the Saturday, because we usually record on a Sunday, so I'll have it through Saturday of that week we just went through to get it more updated. I just knew with Thanksgiving, we looked at it, it wasn't that. So that's what that is looking like there. So far, you can say our teams are looking pretty good.
We know ball.
We know ball, but then also like it's still like we took pretty good teams. We didn't take any giant risks so far. So again, once we get into the conference play, I'm going to be really, really excited on that. Now, there's a couple of things that's not KenPom that I think you and I both probably want to talk about too. Is one is they've looked at coaches that have had tournament experience and have had a win in the tournament. Those guys usually are part of that, go deep or can win it. And then one of the things I always look at is their guard play. The backcourt is huge. If you have a senior laden guard tandem, you can go pretty good. And those are the ones I like to look at the smaller schools, the smaller conferences, or if you just have that one stud point guard, shooting guard or something like that, that's also something. We'll kind of dive into those kind of things as well. We'll look at some of the better guards later on as well. So that is it for the college basketball talking KenPom. We'll bring the KenPom report every week. We will take a break, and then when we come back, it is the John Hughes movie bracket. So stay tuned for that here at fanstreamsports.com here on March Chadness.
Hi, golfers. IndyCar Tim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue. Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there.
Hey folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Today's show is brought to you by Tomstown, a premier craft distillery based in Kansas City, Missouri. Discover their award-winning lineup, including double oaked bourbon, botanical gin, and double grain vodka, named the best craft vodka by the readers of USA Today. Available for online delivery in 40 states. Visit toms-town.com or their Kansas City distillery to explore more. Elevate your game with Tomstown, where history meets innovation. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hello, folks. Let's talk a little bit about turf life. And what is turf life? It's pretty much if your life involves turf in any way, shape, or form, you live the turf life. Go ahead and brand yourself with the turf life. Maybe a back window decal, maybe a hat. You know where you can get those kinds of things to showcase that your life revolves around sports and or anything that involves sports. If it's a sports business or sports education or just your enjoyment of the outdoors, head over to turflifeclub.com. Become a turf head. Join the club today. You can do that by going to that said website that I just told you to go to. You can snag your window decal like I was talking about, or any of your other turf life accessories. Show everybody that you live the turf life, and we'll see you there, over there at that turflifeclub.com.
Although it may seem tempting to go without healthcare insurance, the financial risk far outweighs the gain you may experience. For example, did you know if you simply broke your leg, it could cost you nearly $7,500? Put on top of that a hospital stay, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000. Ensuring that you don't go uncovered is so important, as according to CNBC, high medical bills are the highest contributing factor to why Americans end up taking money out of their retirement savings, or worse, find themselves filing bankruptcy. So go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. Now, depending on your income, you can get plans for zero premium. Our experts will guide you through the process effortlessly. They will shop many plans and find the one that's right for you. I called and I have full health coverage through Florida Blue for zero monthly premium. It's a free call. So why go uncovered? It's a huge risk. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505.
Orion Golf Management Solutions. Orion Management Solutions has tailored its service packages just like it tailors its approach to customers. Some owners need more supervision, while others need periodic assessment of their short-term and long-term strategies and programs. Orion can be called in to develop a business plan with the existing staff, or we can assist with the daily management of a facility or event. Either way, we make sure the client is satisfied and understands the direction the facility needs to go in order to achieve the owner's goals. Orion Management Solutions can help with owner assistance service solutions, daily course management, business plan development, monthly operations, or as-needed consulting services. Whatever your need, Orion Golf Management Solutions can help. Check out oriongolf.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, we are back. So I'm excited about this one. We talked about what we wanted to do, and you said John Hughes movies. And I didn't realize, you don't realize until you go to IMDb, like how many bangers John Hughes had. And he just had that stretch in the 80s, early 90s where it was like hit after hit after hit. And it's unreal.
Yeah, and and I think out of these 16, he only directed 6, but he wrote almost every great movie you saw in the 80s.
Yeah, and that's the criteria for today is he had to have a writing credit, whether a partial or a full writing credit. Because we could have like really expanded it out, but I really wanted to hit where he wrote it on that. So we actually did research this week because a lot of these movies, like there were some I had never seen. And then there were some I've not seen in a while. So, Nate, which ones did you watch here in this week to prepare for this episode?
I hardly had time to do anything. So, I've only watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Home Alone 1 and 2, Mr. Mom, Dutch, Uncle Buck, and Career Opportunities. Because I use my time wisely. So I actually got to get a lot. I actually did get to get a lot in.
Exactly. Now, were there any of those that you had never seen before?
I had, but I hadn't seen them since they came out. Like Dutch and Career Opportunities, I don't think I'd seen in 30 years. And I didn't, I just remembered the premise of Dutch. I didn't even really remember the premise of Career Opportunities. I remember Jennifer Connelly. So those two were pretty much fresh to me. It was almost like I'd never seen them. But, I've seen all of these so many times. Uncle Buck is always watched. Great Outdoors is always watched, especially around the holiday time, which is why I wanted to do John Hughes, because he's responsible for 3 Christmas movies and 2 Thanksgiving movies. So this is the perfect time to do it. So yeah, a lot of these get, Weird Science, everything. A lot of these are watched in the Rink household quite a bit. So I didn't have to go back and dive in on a lot of them, but I just decided to anyways, because they're great movies.
All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, yeah, it went crazy.
You were out for a second.
Yeah, you were out too. The whole thing went nuts on the board. So Tim, at about 14:20, it kind of goes black. You'll see it. I'll text you on that. So, so had there been any that you did not see?
Not on this list. No, not in the bracket. There are some that were out there that I don't think I've ever seen. She's having a baby.
Yeah.
As much as I love Kevin Bacon, I have a dog named Kevin Bacon. I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
He does, and Nate is probably the best at the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon game. So
Undefeated.
And
so, I don't think I've seen Curly Sue either. So
yeah, I don't think I had ever seen Curly Sue as well. I don't think I ever saw Dutch and anything like or something like that. It had been so the ones I hadn't seen, and my wife could not believe it because one of my wife's favorite movies is Pretty in Pink. So I wanted to see that, and then I ended up watching Some Kind of Wonderful because I had not seen that. It had been a minute since I saw Career Opportunities. I did not watch it because I realized it's going to be a 14, 15, 16 seed, and it's probably not going to win. No, and it's only one scene I'm going to talk about in that anyways. And then I had never seen, or at least the entire movie through, I've seen bits and pieces before, but I'd never seen The Great Outdoors. So I watched The Great Outdoors. I watched Some Kind of Wonderful, Pretty in Pink, and then I rewatched Mr. Mom because it had been a long, like it may have been pre-kids that I had seen Mr. Mom, and my oldest is 25. So I did watch those just to get a good bit. I wanted to watch Uncle Buck. I just was too tired. I kept falling asleep. So it's been a minute since I saw Uncle Buck, but I had seen it enough that I do remember it. And then I had seen 16 Candles a few times before, and it's been a minute for Weird Science. So I really want to watch that because Weird Science was one of those. That and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles were ones that you and I grew up with watching all the time.
I still say you stewed, but what? All the time. Bill Paxton is amazing in that movie.
Rest in peace, Bill Paxton. Yes. So, and then I had not seen Dennis the Menace. I threw that in over Dutch because you said it's pretty entertaining, and my daughter ended up watching the original Dennis the Menace TV show probably last year, and she kind of enjoyed it. So, Walter Matthau, why not Dennis the Menace? So, I have not seen that. Yeah. So let's go to I got to pull this up here first. So, cause it went crazy on the thing. So let's talk about our final four first of what we don't have the brackets out yet. Cause I got to pull it up. Cause I got to pull this screen up to bring it back on there. So let's talk about these movies, what your final four is going to look like, or what do you think the final four is? Before we even see the bracket, you don't even know none of you guys know what the bracket is, but what's your final four prediction, Nate?
My final four prediction is Breakfast Club, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Home Alone, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay. So ours is very similar because for me, it is Breakfast Club, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I'm taking Vacation and Ferris Bueller. So what we can do is we'll add this in here real quick, and we'll just quickly go through all of it. So there's only 16. We did not do 32. This is going to be the shortest bracket we've had. So as you see, Breakfast Club is number one, is the number one overall seed. It's going up against Career Opportunities. Got an Uncle Buck, Pretty in Pink 8-9 matchup, what's going to be interesting to talk about. You've got two Christmas movies going against each other. Christmas Vacation at the 4, Home Alone 2 at the 13. Another good matchup, a John Candy off, if you will, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and the Great Outdoors. That is the top half of the bracket. And then you go down, you have Home Alone versus Some Kind of Wonderful, Vacation versus 16 Candles. So that, I guess, you can consider a Anthony Michael Hall off, if you will. Mr. Mom versus Weird Science, another Anthony Michael Hall one. And then you've got Ferris Bueller and Dennis the Menace. So as we looked at that, Nate, is there anything, we'll go back to us, that stands out, underseeded, overseeded, could be a sleeper?
I think everything looks good. The weird thing is, did you know that John Hughes wanted Anthony Michael Hall to be Ferris Bueller.
I think I did remember that, but then he was he
He wanted to start doing different stuff.
Okay.
But
I think I remember hearing that.
He wrote that for him. This whole thing could have been an Anthony Michael Hall off because John Hughes just loved the guy. And what's not to love? Anthony Michael Hall is great.
Exactly. He's also not to keep pushing psych on everybody, but he is great as a little thing in psych too, as he plays the one interim chief guy comes in. So that brings us to I thought there might be some places in this because all these movies are so good, and you and I have a couple different preferences on it. Where we are going to not like, we just will be like, I want this one, you want the other one. So I have a group chat that I did add you on after. I was like, I probably should put Nate on it because then he doesn't think I'm cheating when I get the stuff coming through. So I sent it out to 5 of my friends that I told them what's going on. Like, you may get a text like, hey, you got to decide which one do you want of these 2. And then if we can't decide, it's going to go to the text. So hopefully all 5, we don't get stuck in a 4-way one. But my buddy Dave had some thoughts, and he said as a side conversation we should have who is the all-time Hughes actor/actress, because he's like Molly Ringwald, John Candy, Anthony Michael Hall, Macaulay Culkin. So he John Hughes liked certain actors and would use them all the time. I think you can talk about who the all-time Hughes actors. I think it's pretty easy who it is. I'm going John Candy.
He's my favorite one, but you could also go Anthony Michael Hall. They could. Those are the top 2 right there. And if he would have been in Ferris, I think it's a no-brainer. But
I mean, he's in Breakfast Club. I mean, he's in
Vacation. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it's pretty
he's
good.
In Weird Science. He's in 16 Candles.
Yeah. I mean, and he's got some great moments, like in all of those movies. Like the whole holding up the underpants scene in 16 Candles. He's got some great lines in Vacation, Breakfast Club. You know, I mean, obviously it's so good. So, I mean, I think those would be the 2, and you could go either way on. But just remind me, I got to text. Sometimes when my wife texts, I'm like, oh, what's this about? It's like, I just need to get a gallon of milk when I go to Kroger on the way home to return our Soda Stream bottles. So,
right. Do you have one of those? I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So, if you know what a Soda Stream is, you get the little Soda Stream thing, you put the canisters in, and then you got a little bottle, and you can make your own like carbonated water. And we also have some little flavorings you can put in as well. You can also then buy, like, they've got the syrups where it's like Pepsi, Starry. They don't have a ton, but they've got some. So we have that. It is pretty good to have, and we get more out of it now that Xander. I don't want to throw Xander under the bus, my 19-year-old, but since he's moved out, like he started having to pay for every other one because you're only supposed to do about 5 pumps. He would just be like, and it just like would use like probably half the stream to do it. So, and then he would fill a giant cup up and we only drink about a third of it. It was crazy. So I got to get a gallon of milk, which, you know, we always have to have gallons of milk at our house. So, all right. So no one wants to hear about that now. So let's go to the first part of the bracket. So Breakfast Club is one of not just all-time great John Hughes movies, but you're talking like probably one of the all-time great 80s movies, but then you start looking like just a great movie altogether.
Yes. It was really the first one that, that I can remember that touched on the fact that, there are always cliques in high school, but you don't know what everybody's dealing with behind the scenes at their house. Everybody's got their own problems. And the fact that everybody coming from different backgrounds has similar problems. It's no matter what you're dealing with, everybody's got something going on. You never know what anybody's dealing with. And you put these people that would never hang out together in a room for most of the day, and you're going to find out you have a lot of stuff in common. And it's really good for that, I don't know if the movie had as big an effect or if that's just how I'm wired, but like, I remember me and Kurt were always hung out with everybody, the athletes, the brains, the criminals, this, that, the other. And, you know, I remember we people like, oh, well, you go and hang out with them. Why? It's like, they're good dudes, you know, like
Yeah.
you don't know them. And so it kind of broke that down. Like, hey, just because this guy is into heavy metal and wearing a jean jacket and smoking cigarettes doesn't mean that he's not a good dude. Or, you know, the nerdy guy you think is just a dork, probably a really good dude.
Yeah, I mean, and as you get to an adult and then you get into the actual like working environment, real world, you realize that yes, that we all have the same problems. We grow up, even because most people, like you go into high school kids, you have the same kind of experiences. Some are maybe a little bit better off, wealthy, some are not, but you're living in the same neighborhood, so you're dealing with the same issues, and everyone's parents are kind of similar in some ways. So some just have it worse off than others. And if we would just stop and talk to each other, we do have a little bit more in common as we do. So it was such a good movie with that. It was well acted, and it's really just one of those great ones. And the principal guy does such a great job of being the villain in that movie. And it's so good. And again, it's been a minute since I watched it.
You mess with the bull, you get the horns.
You get the horns, baby. So yeah, Breakfast Club, and then Career Opportunities. I think I remember watching it when it first came out because I can't think of the kid's name that was the lead in it, who, spoiler alert, in an episode of Psych. So which, spoiler alert, like, Psych was big on 80s movies references and stuff like that. So he tried to get all the people from like the Brat Pack, the John Hughes movies in, and I think he got everybody in but Emilio Estevez. He did not get in. So Career Opportunities, you just watched it. So give us a quick synopsis of that movie.
The lead guy can't keep a job, and he becomes the night janitor at Target, which, you know, when I remember first seeing the movie, I was like, what is a Target? Because we didn't have them in Cincinnati at that time. And he gets locked in, and she happens to be locked in there too. And so it's just him and her. It's okay. It's completely unrealistic, and it's kind of clunky. But I took away from it what I took away from it the first time I watched it is when Jennifer Connelly switched from being the girl from Labyrinth to the woman of my dreams at the time. Like, it was just like, oh. So and she has also aged very well, so good for her. But yeah, that movie is really only really worth watching if you just want to see Jennifer Connelly. The movie itself it's okay. It's got its funny parts, but it's crazy.
It's a 16 seed for a reason. So yeah, I mean, I remember watching it, like thinking that would be the greatest thing ever, working a job like that, to just be able to kind of have your free reign of like a toy store, like all these things. That was the biggest thing. And then of course, Jennifer Connelly switching from Labyrinth to this, and she has aged well. And she's like, I believe does she have an Academy Award for either Requiem for a Dream or the one A Beautiful Mind or something? I know I think
it's Requiem for a Dream, but yeah, and she was just in the Top Gun Maverick, and she was great in that. So
okay, I did not know that. I've not seen that. I heard it's really good, so I need to add
really
that
good. Except for the football scene on the beach, it doesn't make sense. There, just two footballs and they're playing offense and defense at the same time. It's like, this doesn't work. Aside from that scene, the movie's fantastic.
Okay, so pretty simple. Breakfast Club, I think, wins in a landslide if you're talking movies on that. Yeah. So Uncle Buck, Pretty in Pink. I know we both have some strong takes. I remember Uncle Buck as being so lovable, so good. John Candy is great in it as the uncle. The couple of moments between him and Cully McCalkin are great when he is talking to the principal and he flips the quarter, have her like get a rat to gnaw her mole off because, you know,
I still don't know what the quarter is. Is that for bus fare to go downtown? I'm not sure.
I don't know. But I think you can get rats pretty good, pretty cheap in the 80s. And then so I had a good memory of that. It's a good movie. I'd never watched Pretty in Pink. My wife loved it growing up. So watching it, here are my two takeaways from Pretty in Pink. Is all right. John Cryer was outstanding in it. And
Yes.
I think you only really love this movie is if you were a teenage girl in the 80s.
Which I was not.
Okay. No, neither one of us were. We did live, not to get political, but we lived in a society back then when you knew the difference. So, but Pretty in Pink is okay. We'll talk about Some Kind of Wonderful, which I think just executed what Pretty in Pink was trying to do a little better, just with the storytelling.
Well, and it had the ending that John Hughes wanted. If you notice at the end of that, Andrew McCarthy is clearly wearing a wig because the test group audiences did not like the ending that he went with, so they had to reshoot the ending. Yes, it's going to be a hot take, but Pretty in Pink's kind of a Some Kind of Wonderful. The roles are just reversed, but it's the same story. I think it's just executed much better, and it's more fun to watch.
Yeah, and I watched them back to back too. So, and again, it's not like I did not mind Pretty in Pink. I just thought, I mean, I'm telling you, from like the first 10, 15 minutes into Some Kind of Wonderful, I'm like, oh, they did a better job. I mean, it was a later movie too, by about probably 5-6 years.
Yeah,
I think
so.
he just did a better job establishing the characters and the differences. I just thought they did a better job with that. I still think John Cryer, though, is the best part of either movie.
Ducky is the man.
Yeah, Ducky is the man. And again, I like Pretty in Pink. I thought Molly Ringwald, a relationship with her dad and stuff was good. Slater's always, not Slater, but
James
Spader, Robert California. He's always just I'm like, he's always been, that's the other thing too in these movies. And you can even go back to Grease. Like, he looked like he was 27 in that movie because he probably was. But like, I always hated that, and like they always had like the older people playing high schoolers, and sometimes it was very obvious. Like John Cryer did look like he was a junior in high school.
He was just a great d-bag. Like, can you imagine in the 80s?
He was.
You went to school and James Spader or William Zabka's there. You're like, oh, this is gonna stop.
Exactly. They should do a movie about those two guys like that. It'd be amazing. So Uncle Buck, Pretty in Pink, I think it's pretty easy. Like you just watch Uncle Buck.
It's easy for me, and this might be a hot take, but this might be my favorite Macaulay Culkin performance. He's so awesome in this movie. That whole scene when he's questioning him, when he's like, you live in the city? Yeah. Own or rent? Rent. What do you do for a living? Lots of things. Where do you have an office? Don't have one. How come? I don't need one. Where's your wife? Don't have one. How come? It's a long story. Do you have kids? No, I don't. How come? It's even a longer story. Are you my dad's brother? What's your record for consecutive questions? 38. I'm your dad's brother, all right. You have much more hair in your nose than my dad. Nice for you to notice. I'm a kid. That's my job. That scene gets me every time.
It's great. And I think it's probably because he wasn't the main character in this. And it's just a lot for him in Home Alone. And I think
he's great in those. It's just the line he delivers in Uncle Buck when she's making out with Bug. He's like, "That's a silly thing to be doing during flu season." The delivery of everything. When he walks in, he goes, "Who's you?" I'm your Uncle Buck. We have an uncle. He's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's such a good, like, at the end, like, feel good. When he comes in, when she's at that party and stuff. I mean, it's such a good, like, that classic 80s where there's that, the one, the kid and the adult figure kind of at odds. And at the end, they kind of like, we get along. So, so Uncle Buck, it's again, I think if this was done by girls our age, women who are our age, I guess not girls our age, but that grew up with Pretty in Pink, I think Pretty in Pink would probably be a top 3 pick, but it's not. So
for most, my wife Kelly is not a big Pretty in Pink fan. So
okay, all right, I got you. All right, that's interesting. So, all right, so the next one, 2 Christmas movies. You don't realize how many like holiday movies John Hughes has been part of until you start putting this list together. Because I think he was part of Home Alone 3 as well.
Yeah, he wrote Home Alone 3.
Yeah. So
which I've never seen.
I have not either. So Christmas Vacation, Home Alone 2. Christmas Vacation is when we do our Christmas movies later on this month, it's going to make, these will probably both make it along with Home Alone. Christmas Vacation has just got so many great standalone moments with it. And anytime you get Uncle Eddie in a scene, It is tremendous. He's got his Griswold Blackhawks jersey on for this episode. I did not. Let me go to the double screen there for a minute. He's got the Griswold Blackhawks jersey on for this. Nate always brings it for the shows, trying to be as relevant with the show we have. So, and then Home Alone 2, obviously it has Trump in it, but it's
Tim Curry and Rob Schneider.
Dude, them exactly. Tim Curry always brings a great performance, and as crazy as an adult, you're like, there is no way the Wet Bandits run into him in New York City.
And two, they're the Sticky Bandits. All right, get it right.
Oh, they are, exactly. But it's still a good sequel. It's not as good as the
fun.
first.
All of the traps are literally lethal. I think every one of them would have killed him. I think Marv gets hit by like 5 bricks from a 5-story building.
And I like they add in the other element of the Rob Schneider, Tim Curry as well. So it wasn't just, it's just Home Alone again, but just in a hotel. So you add that dynamic of them as well. So again, it's been a minute since I watched Christmas Vacation is one of, like, Sarah's grandmother, that was one of her favorite movies. Our dad loved Christmas Vacation.
I absolutely love it too.
It is. It's a fun film. It's a good Christmas movie. And I just the scene there when they're all gathered around, and the classic Clark losing his mind. Anytime Chevy Chase in those movies just goes off. It's funny for us because it's funny, but too, it's like that could be our dad.
Yes. Well, and well. I still every time I put up the Christmas lights, I even if nobody's there, I'm like, Dad, you taught me everything I know about exterior illumination. There's so many good lines, the sugar's full.
Right. Yeah. See, that's got that line.
It might be the best Rusty and Audrey in any of them. I know Anthony Michael Hall is great in the first one, but
right.
The Rusty and Audrey combo in that one might be my favorite. And Cousin Eddie just steals the show in every scene, wearing the black dickie underneath a white sweater. When they're at Walmart, he puts in like cans of dog food and then stacks, I believe, like 5 bags of dog food on top of everything. Just little things. Kills me every time.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I mean, the shitter's full, like that whole, like there are now Christmas decorations of that. That's how great of a scene that was. So Christmas Vacation, as good as Home Alone 2 is, as it's one, if it's on at Christmas, you're going to watch it.
Yes.
Christmas Vacation, though, I think wins.
Yeah, it wins easily. Pretty easily.
Yeah. So this is one. So Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and The Great Outdoors. So I think Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, depending on where you're at, could be ranked higher. But I think if we're trying to rank these as how the majority of people, you and I had this discussion, because I think I had Planes, Trains, and Automobiles as 2, and you're like, dude, it's got to be Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller, because you said, I think there's probably quite a bit of people that may have never seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller.
The older I get, it is a shocking amount of people who haven't seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Which is crazy, because like Breakfast Club and you're right, those two were such, unbelievable. They were some of the biggest hits of the 80s. Like Ferris Bueller was talked about like forever, and it's just such a great movie. So Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Before we dive into Great Outdoors, I love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I have my copy of the Canadian Mounted right here. There
you go. He's got Canadian Mounted is what Dell was reading
in the airport, which is such a
airport. It is, and then they bring it back. There, I saw a thing like he brings it back in another movie of his. John Hughes does, and I can't remember what movie it is, but someone is reading that book as well.
So this is actually just a
it's not a real book.
It's a trivia guide to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Okay.
My buddy Joe Herzog got me this, and it's fantastic, full of fun facts of the whole movie. But yeah, it's just what a bold move to be doing in the middle of an airport, just reading
Exactly.
books.
Which I think too is like when I was watching the John Candy documentary, like that wasn't even a real book. It was just something I think it was like a prop. So, but Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So my wife and I will be married 30 years this coming May. So we, it was in the 95. She had never seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So I was like, let's watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Well, when we watched it, it was like whenever we first watched it, may not have been, I thought we were dating, but it was probably a few months or not long after John Candy had passed away. And so we're watching Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And I'm going to go back to us here. So we're watching Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And we get to the scene. And first of all, these are all 80s movies for the most part, early 90s. So if you haven't seen it yet and you're I was just going to watch it, like there's spoiler alerts. Like I'm not, they're 30 years old. Exactly. So it's the part where in the hotel and Steve Martin is just railing into him with the cat chatting and all, and just berating him. And I had to turn it off because Sarah's like starts crying because she was so sad because John Candy just died. And it's like, Steve Martin's being so mean to him. I'm like, yeah, but like, it's part of the movie. So we had to stop it. And then we had to watch it later on. And there was another movie like that too. It was Bye Bye Birdie that it was the guy from Mad About You was in it.
Bye Bye Love.
Bye Bye Love. We were watching that, and there's like we're probably 10 minutes in, like the old guy's riding the train back from his like McDonald's job that he's doing. He gets to the house and you find out he's a widow, and she's like, I can't watch this anymore. I don't know if we ever ended up watching that whole thing because that one's not that great. But yeah, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It is a classic. There. The scene.
Do we tell the dad story?
We tell that we have to tell the dad story. So here's the thing about Jim Rink. Growing up, Jim Rink, who it'll be like, is it 4 years? It'll be 5 years. 5 years in August that he passed away. So growing up, love you, Dad. Growing up, he was he drank a lot. He was never abusive to us, but he would get really loud and angry at times. But he never like hit us and was never verbally abused. He just got loud and mad. You're like, oh, and then but you never knew you never knew something could snap. Hashtag who called, which is another time for that story.
Story for another day.
So you and Mom watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Like, I don't know, I can't remember if Jason or other brothers there. And in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, there's a scene where the car catches fire. And then Nate, you can tell us the rest of the story.
Well, and there's also the scene with I believe when I watched it, I think I counted 18 F-bombs when he does, his rental car is not there. Right. And so when Dad would get mad, it was very much like that. Just every other word was an F-bomb. And so he had come home from work late, and I remember Mom going, "Oh, what happened?" He's like, and I think he got dropped off by a tow truck or whatever.
The tow truck, I can't remember. I don't think he was walking because it was pretty far. I think
he was not walking.
It was down by Coney, I think.
He's like, what happened to the car? And that's when he had the Black Oldsmobile, the Batmobile, as we called it. It looked like the Adam West Batmobile. And he's like, damn car caught on fire. We instantly start laughing. So he had this horrible day. His car caught on fire, but we just saw this movie, and he instantly gets mad, and it goes right into the F-bomb. Glad you guys think this is so effing funny. That car got on fire, and we're in tears. Like, stop, just stop. Like, and I remember when he explained to him why it was so funny, he was still mad. And I don't think he watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles for years, but it did become one of his all-time favorite movies. So he did come around and get to watch it. But yes, the day we watched it, it was the fact that those things happened was
it was one of those things where like you start laughing and then like it just caught you off guard because you didn't think. We just watched it was funny in a movie like, oh, the car caught on fire or whatever, and then your dad comes home and says like his car caught on fire, and it's just that scene, and then he just goes ballistic, cussing his up. Oh my gosh, it's a great memory now. I'm sure we laughed about it like even like a few days later once like, dude, that was like ridiculous. So so we'll have probably a lot of Jim Rink stories on here. So, and then the Great Outdoors. So you said you watch this pretty regularly because it just would be on, or you'll throw it on when you're out watching on the big the screen that you have and stuff like that. So you watch this pretty regularly, correct?
Yeah. Especially if we go out of town, we go camping or at a cottage, or a lot of times the years in Michigan when we go, it gets thrown on just because it's kind of similar. We're sharing houses with friends and family, and you're out in the great outdoors, and it's just a fun watch. It's Dan Aykroyd, it's John Candy. There's the guy who's gotten hit by lightning 66 times in a head. It's a good all around great family fun movie. So it gets watched a lot, but it doesn't hold a candle to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
No, it doesn't. And like I watched it, and it was the first time because I had seen the parts like with the bear and then the lamp shotgun thing.
Shotgun lamp.
Yeah, I mean, and I'd seen a couple different things, just clips and stuff, but honestly, I didn't really care for Great Outdoors. I don't know if it's because of like it was late at night, I was tired, but I was like, I don't know if I really laughed too much on it, and I just thought like I think it must have been because I was tired or whatever, because like I knew Dan Aykroyd was like a brother of one of the two, but I didn't realize until like halfway through the movie, like, oh, it's her brother. And then it was like, there was tension and stuff. So there's some like I think the second half of the movie is better. But they're like, dude, I think the best part is when he's telling the bear story to everybody when they first get there. It's such a great John Candy moment. It's so great. And I think I was getting some of this kind of mixed up with like Summer Rental. I'm like, oh no, Summer Rental. Like I was like, okay, no, that's not a John Hughes one, but it's like John, because I was thinking, is this part of this movie? Yeah, I was like, no, it's Summer Rental. So,
but Summer Rental and Great Outdoors do feel like movies that were just like, here's funny situations that we want to get these guys in. How do we put them in there instead of a cohesive story from beginning to end? So yes,
and Dan Aykroyd and John Candy are just great together. Like, and just having that kind of tension and stuff. But again, I thought it was pretty easy as well. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is going to advance. So we're not even done with the first round yet, man. It's so much fun talking about these. Usually the first round is going to take longer because we got to talk about each movie individually.
Right, and then it'll go a little faster after that.
Exactly. So now we got the 3 seed Home Alone versus Some Kind of Wonderful. I think we already kind of talked about Some Kind of Wonderful enough with Pretty in Pink. Home Alone is not just a classic Christmas movie. That's one, like certain Christmas movies, like I would not just throw on Miracle at 34th Street, like the original one, which is a good movie, but I wouldn't just throw that on when it's not Christmas. Home Alone is one that if it was on, I don't know why it would be on, not at Christmas, but it'd be one where I would watch it in March.
Yeah, I watch it at any time. And by the way, I believe John Hughes wrote the remake of Miracle on 34th Street. And little secret, I've not seen either one of them. So when it comes to Christmas movies, I might have to watch one of them. But
I think we're going to be.
But Home Alone is not just. It is a Christmas movie, but it is. You can watch it any time of year, and it's perfectly fine.
Oh, it's so fun. And I don't think that. It's one of those movies. What makes it kind of great too is like there's really not that lull in the story because from the get-go it picks up quick of the house, everyone going around. You've got the cop. It just everything about it, and then they wake up, the alarm, the power, and just there's not a lull. Like some movies are like that where it's like
it's very fast-paced.
Yeah, like Step Brothers. Step Brothers is a great. I love Step Brothers, but like the first half hour and like the last half hour,
there is that
in the middle,
that middle wall.
Yeah, so it wins pretty handily, I believe. So I think this first round is going to be pretty chalk. You got Vacation, 16 Candles. You've got the Anthony Michael Hall off because he's got prominent roles in each. 16 Candles. It's a good one. It's got some good moments. Like it's got the donger.
The donger needs food.
The donger,
no more Yankee, my lanky.
Exactly. The donger is a great like side character that shows up and kind of breaks up the main story, and it's great because it's always kind of amazing him in it, and it's just one of those where again, I think it's more of a teenage girl movie. Sarah liked it as well, obviously.
I love 16 Candles, and I remember when we'd go to my buddy G's house in high school. He was the only person that we knew that had laser discs, you know.
Okay.
And he had the bin of laser discs, which weighed like 1,000 pounds.
Yes.
But the one thing we could all agree on, a bunch of high school dudes, was 16 Candles. So I think that it gets that stigma of Pretty in Pink, but I don't think it's a chick flick. I think it's just it's a super fun watch. The whole family is great. You got young John and Joan Cusack in there, but it is not Vacation.
No, it's not Vacation. And again, I think it is better than like Pretty Pink. I think it is more universal of just in a chick flick. Because from what I remember, I'm like, it's actually pretty good. And I would sit and watch it through because Anthony Michael Hall is just great. And just the story's a little bit better, I think. So it is decent. But again, this is so hard because like the top 12 movies.
Yeah, all these are hard, man.
So good. Like if you just sat and watched all these John Hughes movies back to back to back, like that was a pretty good like 4 days or whatever it would be. But Vacation is so good, and I think because Animal House was a National Lampoon's movie.
Yes,
but I think it was because it was the adult content rated R. Like Vacation really kind of put National Lampoon's not really on the map, but like more of a household name because Vacation was more of a family movie, even though like Beverly D'Angelo's boobs are in it like twice.
Well, and there is hey, can you give me directions to the highway? F your mama. Thank you very much. But
there are some swears in it as well. That scene is great.
But you know, everybody French kisses. Yeah, but Daddy says I'm the best at it.
There are some adult, that was that was 80s PG. And that was what's her face from 30 Rock was the female cousin.
Well, and they wanted them to cut a bunch of that stuff out of there. I heard Artie Lang talk about it years ago when he was on the Howard Stern show, when him and Norm Macdonald did Dirty Work.
Yeah.
And they wanted it to be rated R, but the studio was like, hey, let's cut these scenes out, and then we'll put it out in the summertime. More people can watch it. And Chevy Chase has a small role in that. And he told both of them, he goes, don't do it, which they ended up doing, which was not the right decision. I still want to see this rated R version of Dirty Work. But he said, they tried to do that with me on Vacation movie. And he goes, and the scenes they wanted me to cut out are still the scenes that get quoted to me the most to this day. And so there is, you know, when he does the dad freak out in the car, when he's, you know,
yes.
There is enough to probably make it a rated R movie, but it is more family friendly than Animal House for sure.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, and again, they're like that. It is such a good movie. I mean, so many great scenes. You know, the dead grandma that they got to then drag along for the rest of the vacation. Dragging the dog behind them. And again, John Candy is in this at the very end, and he is so great. Like his character is such like. If you just got another person to do it, it would be like, okay, he makes that whole part in the park so much better. Just like my wife will always be like, we quote Moose Out Front should have told you.
Park's closed. Moose Out Front should have told you.
We say that all the time and stuff. So it's such a great, like it's a fun movie. Like the fact like they get to the parking lot, he parks so far away when nobody else is there, and then the Chariots of Fire running in there. Again, you know,
the first one's here, and when it's time to go, we'll be the first ones to leave. I still don't think that math works, but
exactly, no, it doesn't, because you're still walking. And then of course, you know, the birth of cousin Eddie with you know, how do you like know your buns, Clark?
I don't know why they call it Hamburger Helper. It does just fine on its own.
Exactly. So it's such a great, the family truckster, like how many people call their station wagons and stuff the family truckster because of this movie. Yeah. So this is a good one for us. Let's move down first. Ferris Bueller. There's not a close one. Dennis the Menace is a fun little like family movie that kids will enjoy, correct?
Yeah, it's fun. It's, you know, Christopher Lloyd, Walter Matthau, Leah Thompson. The kid who plays Dennis the Menace does a really great job. I don't know whatever happened to that kid, but he was good in it. It's a fun family watch, but I've got my Abe Froman Sausage King of Chicago shirt on for a reason. All right.
There you go. And so side note too, since we're talking about Ferris Bueller, I've been in our fantasy football league, the Low Hoop Fantasy Football League down in Cincinnati with guys I went to high school with, and then other people have come along. But there's been a group of like 5 of us that have done this for like over like 34 years. And it's been about 20 years. We started to do a theme for the draft. And we did a John Hughes theme one time, and I was the Froman Sausage Kings. And the Froman Sausage Kings is one of my league leading 5 championships. So I do have a place in my heart for Ferris Bueller and the A Froman Sausage Kings in the Low Hoop League. So Ferris Bueller is one of those movies, I think, where it was not just a movie, but it was like a movement. It was such a different type of movie with breaking that fourth wall. Because no one really ever did that like a lot. Like there have been movies
not through a whole movie. There might be a scene or two in something where they just look at the camera, but there was never a whole movie where he's just talking to you in the audience the entire time.
Yeah, and and some of the stuff that set up, like when him being sick with the base, so many great moments there. You got Cameron, you got, just everything in Rooney.
The Charlie Sheen cameo is fantastic.
It's so great. And then he did that. What was it? There was some show or a TV show where he came back or another movie or something where he played that character, and it was like amazing. I have to look that up at some point doing our next show. But yeah, that part was great. Just him singing at the parade. The Rooney character was Rooney character was so great.
Rooney, it's a shame that guy turned out to be such a dirtbag. But yes, Rooney is a great, and Grace, the secretary,
who was also in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. She was so great. Like they think he's a righteous dude. That's good. And if we can maybe when we go back, we can talk about it now. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I guess, because John Hughes with those guys would just let him go. A lot of just ad-libbing. And I guess the classic scene of her talking on the phone was just like they had done a couple takes, and she said that John Hughes was like, now talk about this. So he said, just talk about Thanksgiving. And so that was not scripted. That was just her on the phone talking about Thanksgiving. It is such a perfect precursor to what Steve Martin then says.
Gobble, gobble.
So that was like Sarah's grandmother every Thanksgiving would call them in the morning and would do it. And then it would be great when like they couldn't get the phone and there'd be the answer machine of her. It's like, and they still do it to each other and stuff. So yeah, I think that's an easy one. So then we got Mr. Mom, Weird Science. So I just watched Mr. Mom last night, or it says Mr. Mon on it. I will change that before you go back to the screen there. So, Mr. Mom, Weird Science. So I watched Mr. Mom last night. It holds up. It is still funny. I enjoyed it so much because I totally forgot about when he goes to Martin Mull's house and the whole like triathlon thing. I totally forgot about that part of it. And then him falling when he's dreaming like in the soap opera and he misses the chalk outline.
And he puts himself in it.
Yeah. And then of course like the 28, 29, whatever it takes.
220, 221, whatever it takes.
Yes.
Or when Mark Mull's there and he changes out of his clothes and he's got the chainsaw. And he's like, honey, if I'm not here, I'll be at the gym or the gun club.
Gun club. It's such a good movie. Jeffrey Tambor's in it, who, speaking of dirtbags, he's a dirtbag, but I enjoy him in Arrested Development so much. He's in it. Like Christopher Lloyd's in it, like a very small role as one of the other guys.
Terry Garr was like my mom crush when I was growing up. And I think it's between this and Firstborn. I always just like, Firstborn, always like a mom figure, not like some of my age I should have, but she was like my mom crush. Like I always thought she was the prettiest lady. She's great in this movie, by the way.
I'm telling you what, from the first 5 minutes, you believe that the two of them are married. Like, sometimes it's like, you're like, they are so believable as a couple. Like Michael Keaton is so great in this movie too, but Terry Garr is a great comedic actress. Like she's in Young Frankenstein and is phenomenal. Frankenstein. So Mr. Mom, just watch that. I have not watched Weird Science in a long time. However, we probably watched it multiple times a year.
Steve Butwad.
That part when he's in the bar with the jazz guys or whatever. It's like
he's into Malakas. What can I say? She's into Malakas, Dino.
See, Nate knows all this. It's
in the family jewels. The family jewels.
Family jewels. You've got a very young Robert Downey Jr. in that too.
And you've got Oingo Boingo doing the theme song. That gets a point on there right away.
It does. They did do a lot of 80s themes, and it's such a great premise. It's such a great premise for a movie too. And they land it. The whole movie's great. It's got some cliches in it, but I do enjoy it. So this is one I'm kind of torn because I think as a movie, Mr. Mom's better. It's been a minute since I've seen Weird Science, but it's got some good scenes. It's
Wyatt, the guy who plays Wyatt is awful, and it almost ruins the movie. But Bill Paxton makes up for that.
That is true.
I do want to say about Mr. Mom, my favorite scene might be when he's trying to get the whoopee from Ken.
Yes.
The kid's got the blanket, and he's just like, I know these guys your age, you think your whoopies are great, and they are. They're terrific. But pretty soon the whoopie's not enough. You're on the street trying to score an electric blanket, maybe a quilt. Next thing you know, you're strung out on bedspreads, Ken. And that's serious. That scene gets me every time.
There are certain scenes with the kids. The kids are great in that movie too. And I hadn't seen it in a while. When he says maybe a quilt, that killed me. It's such a great line. Maybe a quilt. So I think I'm going to take Mr. Mom over Weird Science. And I think, I think both these are probably underrated movies.
For sure.
I think Mr. Mom really is. I think if you were a teenage boy, you love the Weird Science it was just
what it is.
Movie.
Yeah, you get to create a girl on the computer,
and Kelly LeBrock was phenomenal. She was smoking hot back then.
She wasted a lot of her good years. She wasted a lot of good years being married to Steven Seagal.
I thought she was married to Steven Seagal. That'll ruin. Dude, that's how does that even happen? But it's a good movie. Like them wearing the bras on their head as
next thing you know, you're gonna be wearing a bra on your head.
Bill Paxton is so great in that movie. He's so great in that movie. So, all right. So let's go back here. So we've got the first round. We're an hour into the episode, but we've hit these movies pretty well. So you got the 7 seed Mr. Mom against the 2 seed Ferris Bueller, 3-6 Home Alone Vacation, which will be a fun one. You've got the 4-5 Christmas Vacation, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. You got Breakfast Club and Uncle Buck. So yes, it was chalk. The favorites won everyone. I think we could get some stuff that could be a little bit different, but I think there's going to be kind of a chalk a bracket when you get these movies. But this is good. These 8 are pretty stout. So let's start. Breakfast Club, Uncle Buck.
It's Breakfast Club.
Yeah, and it is. Uncle Buck is a great movie. It's a fun movie, a good watch, but Breakfast Club is kind of on another level. Just for all the stuff that we talked about earlier with the dynamic of high school kids, and just it's really got it's a good movie where it has great dialogue. And I'm as the older I get, I love movies that have just great dialogue between characters as a main part of the movie. Because it's not really super action packed. I mean, the biggest action packed thing is when he falls through the ceiling, that kind
Which
of stuff.
I still want to hear the end of that joke. I don't know how that joke is.
Exactly. It's and then again, how many other plus Breakfast Club, so many other movies and TV shows have taken stuff from this, like the dancing, and so many other ones have taken the speak over letter, leaving it to an authority figure. And so many other TV shows and movies. So Breakfast Club is there. So now this is going to be one. Christmas Vacation, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Both holiday movies. Both are movies that I think you can watch and enjoy when it's not the holidays.
Yes.
So
I have a really hard time with this decision. I've been going back and forth on it because there's not a whole lot of Thanksgiving movies. There's, like Dutch is one and Home for the Holidays, which is really underrated. Also with Robert Downey Jr. But Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is the end-all, be-all. And Christmas Vacation, when we get to the Christmas movies, on certain days, it might be my favorite Christmas movie. So this is hard. You could probably ask me every day for the next year, and it might change. But as of today, I think I'm going to go Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's got a little more heart to it. The whole dad scene for us is always going to stick with me.
Right.
Christmas Vacation is phenomenal, but I think Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is, as far as it's not just a comedy. It's also got heart to it. It's also got some just great stuff, great dialogue. So today I'm going to go with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah. I'm going to go Planes, Trains, and Automobiles every day, all day. Chris, if you are just strictly, I just want to laugh, then Christmas, you throw Christmas Vacation on, and you'll feel great for the hour and 42 minutes or whatever it's on. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is really a phenomenal movie. Plus, I absolutely love Steve Martin. The Steve Martin John Candy pairing in this, I think, just puts it over the edge. Like I said, I want to have this as the 2 seed, but you rightfully so said, Nat, you got to put Ferris at 2, and then I had Home Alone at 3 because I think that's still, I think, more people. And then I could have had Christmas Vacation, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles reverse at 4 and 5. But I think it's a good matchup.
And apparently there's a scene at the end in the bus station where that they cut out for time, but Steve Martin fought tooth and nail, where John Candy gives this great heartfelt speech. And it was so good that Steve Martin could not keep a dry eye. Like, he was crying as they were filming it. From what I understand, I would love to see the footage of it. I'd love to know what it is. But John Candy he was not just a comedic actor. When he's doing that scene that Sarah hated, when he's like, I like me, my customers like me, like, you feel it. Like, he was very underrated as an actor. He wasn't just a comedic actor. And I think that's what brings that above Christmas Vacation, is just the acting and the story is just a superior movie.
Yeah. I mean, like, when you can not say anything and just act with your expression and you feel that, like, and the thing about the beauty of John Candy's role as Del Griffith is he is super annoying, but as someone that's watching it, like, you find him endearing and you love him from the get-go on the plane when he's taking his shoes off. You're like,
can you imagine if somebody took their socks off and were waving them in front of your face on a plane?
Well, here's the beauty of that movie. Like, you love Del Griffith so much. He's such a great character. You just fall in love with him. But you also are like, dude, I get Steve Martin. Like, what? Like, dude, you feel for him as an adult. Like, this guy, if that happened to me in real life, I would be like,
you would probably snap on that guy at one point.
You would snap on him, and it would be crazy. No matter how many shower curtain rings he would sell to buy your dinner.
We just got to say, since the Bears won again, in reference to the 2 pillow scene when they're just trying to guy it off. They're like, how about the Bears? Yeah, heck of a team. They're going to go all the way. So I just want to get that out there.
I just want to say how amazing if we have a Indiana Hoosiers national championship and a Bears Super Bowl win,
my head may explode.
Nate, I'm telling you, we were driving home. We were talking about after the win because Noah had a game on Friday, and we were talking about. I was like, dude, if they win the Super Bowl and Indiana wins, like, Noah's like, because he gets it from me, he's like, dude, pants are flying off. I was like, I don't think I'd be wearing pants all year if I get both those.
I guess the Rams just lost. I just had a text pop up. The Rams lost to the Panthers. Aiden, I love you, my son. He just texted me. The Bears are the number 1 seed.
Oh, that's right. They are the number 1 seed because I was watching that game. And like the Panthers, Dave texted me during the show, was like, Bryce Young is either really good or awful. So the Jets and the Falcons, not the side, but this is still a sports station. Jets and Falcons tied at 24 with a minute 43 left. Falcons have the ball on their own 31. Saints are hanging with the Dolphins, 19-17. Houston's up by 4 with the ball under 2 minutes against the Colts. The Jags rolling the Titans. Titans haven't even scored a touchdown. Niners are up 26-8. So Tampa Bay beats Arizona 20-17. So I'm excited as the number 1 seed. Now it's just going to all fall apart for us. So
yeah, well, we got Packers, Browns, Packers, Niners, Lions. So
Yeah.
we'll see what we got.
We'll see. Well, I'm riding it all you can. So now you've got Home Alone and Vacation. So this is another one where Home Alone, Christmas movie, you can watch it anytime. Vacation, just a great watch anytime. This is different than this last one because I think both are like it's kind of similar, but both are more funny with a lot of scenes, whereas Planes, Trains, and Automobile wasn't. But I still think Home Alone is more in the, even though it's a Christmas movie, it falls more into the feel-good movie than Vacation. So
Yes,
again,
and I don't know if people remember. I saw Home Alone in the theater 2 Christmases in a row. That's how
Did you
big that
really?
movie was. They put it right back out in the theater the next year, and I remember seeing it 2 Christmases in a row. Yeah, it's all around, I think, the more fun movie. I do love Vacation, but I'm going to go with Home Alone.
Okay. I'm just gonna see what happens. I'm gonna set, like, I think I'm with you on Home Alone, but I'm just gonna send it out to the group to see. I think Home Alone is the better movie. I think that Vacation, though, like Vacation was like it was such a great, like, is that my that's my text to you, so that's gonna like go up.
No, that
Vacation,
was Aiden calling me. I think Aiden's very excited.
okay.
So he doesn't know I'm in the middle of doing this. So.
Okay. Vacation was like, we grew up watching Vacation like all the time. So I think it is Home Alone. I'm going to throw it out to the group just to make me feel like that they're getting, you know, their money's
No, I'm
worth.
fine with that. I had a hard time with this one too, because I do love Vacation. It's definitely more quotable.
It is. I still think Home Alone's a better movie, but Vacation is a good movie though.
It's fantastic.
She's got a text from Dave. Dave's on vacation. It's all I ever want. I think we leave this up to the chat. I think we do.
I'm fine with Vacation winning this one. I said, I had a real hard time with this one.
I'm fine with either because I think it's going to lose to the next one anyway. So, Mr. Mom, Ferris Bueller. As much as I love Mr. Mom, it is Ferris Bueller. I think.
What's the score? Nothing. Who's winning? The Bears.
So Ferris Bueller wins. I think. I have not watched it in a while. So I knew Joe. Joe is a Christmas dude.
Okay.
Joe is Home Alone. Mike comes in with Home Alone. So whether our brother Jason, who still has never responded to this text, he's probably in Dubai filming some like commercial for some
he
car.
leads a different life than we do.
And then Dave, I gotta have Dave on the show. He's gonna be so great on the show.
Dave is not happy with that response.
So Dave says Home Alone. No, Dave says Vacation. That's all he ever wanted. Joe and Mike respond with Home Alone, and then Dave just responds back with Jackasses. And if you know Dave, that is the perfect and the only response he has with him. So, but Ferris, I think if you go back and watch Ferris Bueller, like it's such a good movie, and it's got so many great things. So Ferris Bueller's there. We'll still wait.
Can we talk about Cameron? I don't think the day ends well for Cameron. Like they try to make it like, oh yeah, me and Morris are gonna have a nice talk. No, you blew out a window in a garage and ruined a Ferrari. Like your day is we're gonna have a little chat. No. Cameron goes missing after that and is probably murdered, and his dad hides the body. Like there's no way his day ends well. Ferris has the greatest day ever, and Cameron's left with this steaming pile.
Right. Well, that's just it. Like, no. Like I think about like if you put me and Cameron in Cameron's spot with Jim Rink as the dad, that happens to me.
I'm running away from home.
Whatever Dave says, no, I am. You never see me again. Like I go off the radar, and you'll never find me because Jim Rink would not be happy with that. So let's move up top here. So the final four is going to be Breakfast Club, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And so here's what we're going to do here. I will, because we have not done the final four look yet, have we?
I don't believe so.
All right. So I'm going to go back to us real quick because I have the final four, and it's great because it's got great pictures of us. hopefully this is the one. It's going to take a minute. Is this it? Yes. All right. I'm going to add the stage. Boom. That's not it.
That ain't it.
I got to
You
remove
blew
that.
it.
I blew it. There we go.
There it is.
So there it is. Me. That is my junior year picture. We saw the senior year picture. My arms did not get any bigger from junior to senior year. Cannons, guns, baby. And that's when I had hair. And that's why you can look at that hair and people ask me, do you wish you had your hair back? I would if it was somebody else's hair. Yes, that hair was horrible. So, and then this was you just this past Halloween, correct?
No, that was just yesterday. I just walk around in that. No, yes, that was this Halloween.
Because we were down there for Halloween. We get down there for the cottage Halloween the last 2 years. It is a good time had by all. So, so the Flint Tropics. So basketball Final Four. We do have the we had three of the same, all three of them. And this is interesting because we have the three that are already in.
Oh, and we got the timing of Home Alone and Vacation.
And so I think it's going to be Home Alone because Joe and Mike get in there. Dave and I on Vacation. So it's 3-2, unless our brother Jason or my buddy Aaron Conrad, who just moved. So he never responded to it either. So sometimes group texts, I think if you go from an Android, a group text to an iPhone does not always work. So we shall see. So I think it's going to be Home Alone is going to be the one to move on. So we will see, but that's what it looks like right now. But let's go Planes, Trains, Automobiles, Breakfast Club. So
I go Breakfast Club. I mean, does Barry Manilow know that you rate his wardrobe? Screws fall out all the time. The world is an imperfect place. And can I just say this, that we were talking about the diehard Mr. Falcon, Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. I've seen this movie so many times. Do you remember the dubbed over version that would be on regular TV when Bender's giving the whole speech and this is a day in the life in the Bender household? And he's like, stupid, worthless, no good, gal darn, freeloading son of a know-it-all, butt wipe, jerk.
I did
you
not.
forgot ugly, lazy, and disrespectful. And he goes, shut up, wench. Go fix me turkey pot pot. He's like, Dad, what about you? And he goes, shut up. And he's clearly mouthing F you, but it's just a voice going, shut up. I still remember that's how bad they butchered it. And it was impossible to watch on regular TV.
I gotcha. I do not remember any of those blocked out on regular TV. So I may have only just watched it. So
my brain works different. I don't know why I remember everything.
I love playing. Like if you're telling me like, I love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles as a movie better than The Breakfast Club. However, again, we're trying to figure out the best John Hughes movie. I think overall, like The Breakfast Club I think Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller are going to be there just because of the culture, like what they did for the culture of movies, like both of those. Like all people know these movies.
Yeah,
these are movies that other movies and TV shows will copy scenes because they are so iconic. Where Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I think people like that movie, but it's not on the same level as Breakfast Club. So as much as it pains me and it pains Dave, because Dave sent me a text on this earlier where he's like, if Planes, Trains, and Automobiles does not win, he is going to sue me. So
well, get yourself a good lawyer.
Exactly. So I think, again, I got to come down here. Home Alone, based on the group text and us, 3-2, Home Alone wins. So back-to-back weeks of Nate getting the Final Four correct with a little help of my friends.
Yay.
And we'll have to get with our other brother. Like, dude, if you want to be on the show, you better start responding to some of the stuff. So Breakfast Club wins. Then you've got Home Alone, Ferris Bueller. I think the one, I don't know if it's closer than the other one, but I still think Ferris Bueller nudges out Home Alone.
Yeah, I think Ferris Bueller runs away with this one. That movie, I still quote so much of it to this day. It's still, life moves pretty fast. You got to, If you don't stop and take a look around once in a while, you can miss it. It's such a fun movie, beginning to end. It's great. As much as I love Home Alone, I think this is a Ferris Bueller Breakfast Club finals as well. It should be.
I think it should. I think Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a 5. Getting there is good. I think this is probably, this bracket turned out exactly how it should have. There was never going to be, like, John Hughes movies, I think the ones that were so good, so iconic, were that way for a reason. And even though some of the other ones like Vacation, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Mr. Mom, even A Weird Science, like, they're good, but they're still not quite up to like that level. It's kind of like I look at, like, with the Jordan era, like, there were great players in the Jordan era. Like, Hakeem is the phenomenal player.
Sir Charles,
Malone, Stockton, like Charles Barkley too. Like, but Jordan was there, and like they just all were a step down. Even Pippen, Pippen, like being in the shadow. Pippen was a great player,
yes,
as well. So I think it's just like that. Like, I'm not going to be mad if you tell me, hey, you have to watch Vacation. All right, I'll watch Vacation. It's fine. So I think this is a good matchup. This is a Titan versus Titan. If you were like in the 70s, like NFL films, like the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field type matchup. And this is it. Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller, the 1-2. Let me hear your take on this.
It's again a hard one. It depends on what you're going for. If you just want the fun watch, Ferris Bueller is just hilarity. It's just nonstop fun. Breakfast Club has much more depth to it. I think it's the better movie. It depends on what you want to watch though. If you've never seen The Breakfast Club, I think everybody should see it because it does have that. Hey, these people you go to school with or whether you work with that you think you have differences with, guess what? We're all kind of in the same boat going down the same river, you know? It's the better movie, but if you just want to throw on a movie and just have a really fun time, it is Ferris Bueller. But as far as best John Hughes movies, I'm going to go Breakfast Club.
I'd like to send this to chat, but I don't want everyone getting mad and Dave like coming in like fighting everybody if something goes differently. Because Dave did say, I think he said in the thing earlier that he thought Breakfast Club was overrated. But I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think Breakfast Club is the better movie than Ferris Bueller. So I just, because of it's got that heart in it, where Ferris Bueller is just a fun watch all the way through. It's great. You know, I'm more of a fan of those movies that are fun, funny, but they have a heart and they kind of have this. They make you feel something, and that's what Breakfast Club has. And it's got a great ensemble cast. And if it's going to be
I got my autographed copy from Anthony Michael Hall. You see, it says to Nate, all the best, Anthony Michael Hall. We're best friends. That definitely wasn't just me meeting him once at a horror hound.
There you go.
We are lifelong friends.
I thought,
but yeah, look at the cast in itself is just superior.
Yeah, and again, if Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is my favorite John Hughes movie, and I had The Breakfast Club beating that, is definitely going to be Ferris Bueller. I thought maybe you just signed that and made it funny because Dave would do that. Dave would do that. Dave would have like there for a while. He would find stuff at his house, and he'd have if you picked a guy in the fantasy league and it paired up with what Dave had, he'd bring it out, and it was all like he would have jerseys, other things like, and he'd always have it signed like his dad would always sign it, so it'd always be signed by Tom Nimitz. So I thought maybe it was. I thought maybe
I would not ruin it. I would not ruin a DVD cover with a fake Anthony Michael Hall signature. Okay. That is legit.
Okay, so Breakfast Club is the winner. It was again. Go watch these movies. They are all they're all good movies. I want to go back and watch Weird Science, that kind of stuff. That I have not seen in a while, but were part of my childhood. That and stuff like Meatloaf. or not Meatloaf, but Meatballs. The movie
Meatballs
was a classic one as well. So it is. I think it ended up exactly how it should have.
I agree.
Yeah. So I
And let's
think
celebrate John Hughes. The fact that one guy wrote all of these fantastic movies is just sheerly incredible.
yeah, it's kind of like that run. Like you look at like Jim Carrey had that same year. He had Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, Ace Ventura all came out, and then Tom Hanks had that run of like Forrest Gump, Philadelphia, and there was like another movie where it was just a hard hitter. So I mean, this was like a 10-year stretch. I don't even know if it was 10. It was a 10-year stretch. Like most of these movies all came out that he wrote and stuff. So John Hughes it was just a iconic figure in 80s movies. So here we go. So this is filmed November 30th. We are hitting December. This is our third episode. I've got the next 3 episodes set. Next week, we're doing the best 80s one-hit wonders. I'm not going to do too much research because I listen to the 80s station all the time. And I grew up listening to it. So these songs. So we will look at that. That is definitely going to be 32.
Yeah.
So
when you sent me that, I came up with 32 just off the top of my head. I was like, I don't even know how to exceed these.
And then we'll probably have some rules we'll go into as well. What constitute as a one-hit wonder. I was looking at some lists. I'm like, some of these are just ridiculous. And then I think we're going to do the Christmas movie one. We'll record that on the 14th. I don't want to do it right before Christmas. I think we'll do it the week before, so that gives you time to watch some of these movies. If we come up with some that maybe you have not watched, is not part of your family's Christmas. So next week we will have the debate whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie or not. And then
are we going to throw like Gremlins and Krampus on there too? Because I think those are not ones that probably everybody throws in their Christmas.
Well,
but I think they need to be talking about. They're watching the Rank household yearly.
Krampus is a Christmas movie, just like Silent Night, Deadly Night is a horror Christmas movie, but it's Santa killing people. It is a Christmas movie. So we'll talk when we talk Die Hard. We'll see, are there any ones that it could open it up to other ones.
I don't know how you feel about Gremlins. I know how you feel about Die Hard, but if we have to have that discussion, we will.
Yeah. Spoiler alert: I am not on the Die Hard as a Christmas movie side. I have too much of my mom in me, so she's not either. And then we'll do TV cartoon theme songs. We'll do that right before Christmas, and then I don't want to go too far ahead because stuff could pop up. So that is it for this week. It was a fun. I'm surprised we got almost an hour and a half of doing this, but
I'm not. It was John Hughes movies. I knew it was going to be probably the same, even though we only had half the
right.
seat.
We did talk a little bit longer on the college basketball, getting that KenPom stuff. So I had fun as always, Nate. I always enjoy hanging out, chatting with you. One of these days we'll have to get you up to Columbus in studio.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Maybe for the selection Sunday one, or like maybe our 1 year of doing this. So thanks for tuning in. Again, check out all our stuff at fanstreamsports.com. You can check out this show when it drops, obviously, and then the previous 2 and my other shows that I've been slacking on this last week because basketball has started and just Christmas and stuff at the house. But I will be bringing you back fantasy football content, DFS content, betting content. Check out fit-off shows about the Steelers, all the Ohio State stuff coming through with the Big Ten championship and the college football playoff. So, Nate, always good chatting with you, and we will talk at you next time.
All right. Love you, brother. Hey, I want to apologize to anybody who thought Baby's Day Out or Flubber was going to win this bracket.
Yeah, I don't, if you listen, comment section if you're mad that we did not discuss Drill Bit Taylor. So, all right, until next time, we will see you guys.